And now Guide Us TV is available on Roku. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Here are some ways to get Guide Us TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity vertical, symbol rate 20770, FEC 3/4, channel ID, Guide US TV. You can also download the app to your smartphone. Available for iPhones from the App Store, for Android on Google Play. And now Guide Us TV is available on Roku. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Here are some ways to get Guide Us TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity vertical, symbol rate 20770, FEC 3/4, channel ID, Guide US TV. You can also download the app to your smartphone. Available for iPhones from the App Store, for Android on Google Play. And now Guide Us TV is available on Roku. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Here are some ways to get Guide Us TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity vertical, symbol rate 20770, FEC 3/4, channel ID, Guide US TV. You can also download the app to your smartphone. Available for iPhones from the App Store, for Android on Google Play. And now Guide Us TV is available on Roku. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Here are some ways to get Guide Us TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity vertical, symbol rate 20770, FEC 3/4, channel ID, Guide US TV. You can also download the app to your smartphone. Available for iPhones from the App Store, for Android on Google Play. And now Guide Us TV is available on Roku. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Here are some ways to get Guide Us TV. Via satellite.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبرأه الله مما قالوا وكان عند الله وجيها. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Jazahullah, Khair al-Jaza, Brother Muhammad Ahmed. To continue, first of all, we'd like to thank all of the organizers who took part of this program. You would only realize the hardship and the amana, as the brother was reading the ayat, the task, the amana that this is to put together a program like this and to get the event to this level and to get it going and all of the volunteering, all of the back end stuff that go on. You would only understand that if you were yourself part of a program before or if you have taken part of a program. So to all of those, each one, to the volunteers who are outside right now, there are people directing traffic, to everyone that took any part in the slightest way, including all of you for showing up. Thank you all. Jazakumullahu khairan. And all of that effort is not going to go into vain, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us for those efforts. To continue, before we proceed, some housekeeping stuff. Bathrooms for men and women are on the upper level, on this level right here that we're at. They are by the entrance. Right when you come into the entrance, if you're facing the door, they're on the right side. Men is first and then females are toward the end. When it comes to Salah time, Maghrib time, we will go out on the right. There's timr and water as we go, so we'll grab that and we'll head out on the right side. Men will go first because we're Qibla toward that direction, and then we'll pray there in the hall over there. When it comes to the iftar time, the woman will go first and we'll go downstairs just right across the auditorium from here. There's the stairs down, and then we'll go right. So the woman will go first and then the man will go after them. So let's keep that in mind, inshallah, all of those directions. I'll try to repeat it toward the end. Jazakumullah. So the reason why we're here tonight is because of this initiative by Araha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah reward them, to everyone who took part of that. The school lunch program. And as we all have gone through school, especially elementary and middle and high school, one thing we're reminded of on test day is that get a good night's sleep and get breakfast. Don't come to the test hungry, don't come to school hungry. And you can tell if we are here in America, a lot of us come from fortunate families, have enough to eat. A lot of us have gone through school here, have enough to eat at school. Now there's a school breakfast or a school lunch. So you can imagine if we're reminded constantly to eat before we come, or to eat before we take a test, or to eat to focus. Imagine those who do not have anything to eat. And imagine those who are not fortunate enough to not even know where their next meal is going to come from. So it's going to be very difficult to send that child to school. It's going to be very difficult as a parent to send that child to school, and it's going to be very difficult as a child to go to school. Especially when those children, some of them as young as 5, are forced to work, hard labor, to earn enough to eat for them and for their families. A lot of these are in war-torn places. A lot of these kids have lost parents. A lot of these kids have lost family members. So they are forced to fetch for themselves. And we've seen this in media and in news all the time. We're well informed. Our problem today is not about information. It's about doing something. It's about extending that hand. So we'll continue with our program. And inshallah, I would like to welcome Brother Muhammad Idris, who is the Executive Director of the organization Araha, to do the opening remarks.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. MashaAllah. It's always nice to see the beautiful faces of our supporters and our donors. How are you doing with the fasting? Alhamdulillah. I know it is the end of the day, so people are tired, but alhamdulillah, we came here together to do something good. And I want you to appreciate that, and I want to thank you for that, for choosing to come here while the weather is beautiful outside, while you can do something else. But you came here to do something good for other people. And that's mean a lot. Jazakumullahu khairan. Our happiness increases whenever we recognize the blessings that we have, and then be grateful, and then also we spend some times and some of what Allah gave us to those who in need. Our happiness will increase once we do that. So jazakumullahu khairan for that. And also, I'm so excited tonight to have a special guest, Sheikh Yusuf Estes, and the team from Guide US TV. Who put this together. Thank you. Brother Yura, where are you? Brother Yura, he must be running somewhere. Brother Wafiq, Sister Fatima, she may be somewhere. Jordan, Muhammad, those are really the team that they put this together, so thank you. And also I want to thank our volunteers. And there are some volunteers who really come every single events and show themselves and say, we are ready to help. I really want to thank those people, and I want to say that we noticed that, and we want to thank you. We appreciate that. Jazakumullahu khairan. Araha strive to evaluate the effectiveness of its program from time to time. So whenever we go out there, and we have different projects, we have water well, we have food program, we have orphan program. From time to time, we ask ourselves this question: how our programs are really relevant and making long impact and lasting impact. And one of those evaluation that we did, part of this evaluation that we did to our program, is that we found out that our food program, we need to shift at least part of it, or big portion of it, from the public distribution to school program, especially early age. And you will know, inshallah, from Brother Wafiq why we do that. But because the idea is to be more effective. Still, we are going to do the distribution during famine, during some difficult time, but specifically this targeting early child in schools, really an important thing, is because malnutrition is affecting, severe malnutrition is affecting a lot of kids in the Horn of Africa. And we found this program is really very effective. We already implemented about 7 schools. And alhamdulillah, within that short time, we found there is a surge and there is a an increase in the enrollment of those kids in school. And so I'm so happy that we are continuing in that path. I just want to let you know that this is part of our evaluation of the projects that we do. Our target, inshallah, we'll talk about this, but our target today, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, with your help, if we can sponsor about 1,500 children, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, to sponsor them for 1 year, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. That is our goal for night. I just want to give you a heads up on that, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Before I do anything, I want to recognize also our board members who you don't see them usually. We always, as a staff, we take the video and the media and the image, the nice image, but there are people who work behind to make sure that the organization are going in the right path. So I just want to recognize them. Dr. Dido here with us. If you could stand, Dr. Dido. He's our board chairman. I don't know if Abu Salih is here, Mahmoud Gammam, Dr. Muad Samarai, Sister Khadra Abdi, Sister Jessica is not here, Mahmadani, Brother Abdullah Mahmadani, and Brother Jelani. So all those are our board members who really work behind the scene. I also want to recognize at the end also Al-Qurashi Travel, who donated to us an Umrah trip, which is going to be, inshallah, donated to you, but is going to be through a raffle, inshallah, that we are going to do. So I want to thank them for giving us, for donating an Umrah travel package, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khair. Thank you again for being with us, and I look forward, inshallah, for joyful and for a blessed night, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Jazakallahu khair al-jaza, and Brother Muhammad Idris, who's doing an amazing job putting this organization together and keeping it running. And all of the team that he's mentioned right now, all of the team members that are doing an amazing job. And again, it is, once you get to the insights of these organizations, that's when you realize how much effort goes into this and how much of a burden that they're keeping away from us. If all of the work that they do was to be taxed by the ummah, we wouldn't be able to fulfill those positions, those spots that they're now filling. And because of them, that wajib has fallen from us as an ummah, or hopefully for the most part. But we still have our duties to help, inshallah. Tonight's dinner, from what I know, is sponsored by Holy Land, which is a great supporter of this organization, thanks to their efforts. The raffle is going to be at the end of the dinner or at the end of the iftar downstairs. If you want to put your name, there are boxes out there. And the winner is going to be a couple or 2 tickets for Umrah, if I'm correct. And to continue, we have the development director, Brother Wafiq Fanoon, who's going to talk a bit about the development aspect and the Araha update and the school lunch program for 2018. Tafaddal, Brother Wafiq.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tonight I'll just be talking about three areas about Araha. Most of you actually knows who is Araha, but I'm just going to do a brief introduction. What is Araha about and how we established, and when we speak about the Horn of Africa, what is the Horn of Africa? Also, I would like to share with you, inshallah, tonight, the highlights of 2018, what we were able to accomplish as an organization with the help of our supporters like you, inshallah. Then I'll be talking about our special program where we need your help and support, inshallah, for the future. Before we move, this is actually when we speak about the Horn of Africa. As you see, some of you actually, you hear about the Horn of Africa. And this is the blue shaded area. That is where our, as an organization, this is our service area in Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia. That's the blue shaded area where we have our offices as an organization. Araha, we have 5 offices in the whole region, inshallah. One of them in Sudan, one of them in Ethiopia, 2 in Somalia actually, and 1 in Kenya. Araha was established in 2000 by a group of brothers and sisters who were at that time, when it was a severe drought, hit that region in that time. Those concerned brothers came together and formed the organization. Alhamdulillah, the organization since then is continued and never stopped. And it carried its mission and continued with that. Now, the mission of Araha as here is strives to alleviate the human suffering and build self-reliant community by providing humanitarian aid and empowering individuals in the whole of Africa and here at home. The first part of this mission is being fulfilled. The second part, we are working it to make sure that it is to do something for our communities. Also, we start some small projects here and there to provide some services for our communities here at home. Our vision is to have eventually a stable and sustainable and thriving Horn of Africa. And now, for 2018, alhamdulillah, what our accomplishment is really magnificent, and I will share that with you. As Brother Muhammad introduced, we have only a staff of 5-6 of us here, and also we have a staff in the field. But with you supporters like you, alhamdulillah, we were able to accomplish so many. These are symbols of what we accomplished. And we're going to go over each one of them to give you a little bit of brief information about what we did. Okay. We start with the basic. We cannot go beyond the food, because when the people are, alhamdulillah, we are all fasting here. And when we ask somebody to do something, if he or she is fasting hard and very hungry, obviously cannot focus, cannot do that. Therefore, always we provide the food. So we started with that. We provided 3,160 families with food basket in the Horn of Africa. But more important, actually, this year, or last year in 2018, we were able to deliver 16 containers of food and cooking oil. And that's actually served like about 2 million meals for the people in the Horn of Africa. Alhamdulillah. The Adahi program. We have an Adahi program. Always when the Eid al-Adha comes, and most of you know, we reach out to you for your Udhiyah if you don't want to do it here. If you want to do it in the Horn of Africa, and always it's coming inshallah after Ramadan, we'll be glad to do it on your behalf. But in the year 2018, which is the year 1439 Hijri, we distributed over 3,000 Udhiyah to 15,000 family. With that, we served about 100,000 people, alhamdulillah, from your Adahi and I want to say there is again, that's alhamdulillah, the Adahi program is one of the successful program, and the price for the Udhiyah in the Horn of Africa, maybe it's one of the cheapest in the world. It's about $80. We go, by the way, in Palestine is over $500 there. So sometimes, alhamdulillah, we have that range. Water wells. The water wells, this is a project, alhamdulillah, it's always has a special place in the heart of the Muslims, actually, and the heart of the people. Providing a clean water to the people, it is really something really special. Sometimes in the Horn of Africa, this water bottle we have, we see it, it's so clear. Sometimes if you show it to some people in the Horn of Africa, they will say, they will not recognize it because they recognize water with color. But alhamdulillah, with the support of our communities across the nation, we were able in 2018 again to dig 33 water wells with serving 45,000 people in the Horn of Africa. Over the years, actually, we did over 350 water wells. And you can do the math, alhamdulillah. And this is again, each water well, we do it in a village, in a town, serve about 400 to 500 people in that community. And again, a lot of people coming, just I mentioned that, now since we're speaking about that, a lot of people, they do it on behalf of their loved ones. Somebody have his parents passed away, his mother or father, that they come reach out to us, and they ask if they can do a will on the behalf of their parents, and it costs somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000 in each one. Another thing, sometimes we start now, as Brother Muhammad said, we start thinking outside the box what we can do and do better and improve on our services. For the first time, actually, we start doing water catchment in 2 primary schools in Somalia, and that's actually, alhamdulillah, providing clean water to 500 students and the teachers and their staff on daily basis. Orphans. Alhamdulillah, the orphans, this is another thing, something really dear to the heart of all of us, because we know how much really important to take care of the orphans. And in last year, actually, we sponsored additional 340 orphans across the regions. We provided the Eid gift to existing orphans to another 572 orphans. We have, over the years, since the inception of Araha, we did over 10,000 orphans, alhamdulillah, supported through the years. Now, construction. This is something as construction for Araha. We started this construction concept and idea back in 2011. And in one of the camps we operate, actually in Shigrab camp in Eastern Sudan, which has more than 30,000 people in that camp. At one point, there wasn't any high school. And in cooperation with local supporters here, we built the first high school in 2011 in the camp. And then later on, alhamdulillah, we were able to build another one. Last year, actually, or the year before, there is one family, 2 families, approached us to build a whole community center. A community center includes, in addition to the community center, a school and a masjid. Can you go to the next slide and come back to this? And a masjid, a library. Stay on this, in the second one here. So we built a masjid, we built a library, we built the school, and we built the house for the imam. And this project was sponsored by 2 families in Minnesota, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair. And this is actually in a village in town. The school, by the way, the closest school to this town, where we built the first high school in it, it's 1 hour driving in the car. So therefore, can you imagine now schools in that village and surrounded villages, they do not need to drive 1 full hour to go to their school. And alhamdulillah, this is again a project, alhamdulillah, it's a noble project. And jazakumullah khair, the brothers and sisters, that 2 families who helped us with that. Can you go back to this? So that's one major, and that's accomplished and completed, alhamdulillah, last year. Also, we built 2 large verandas for the 2 schools we have in the camp. As I mentioned, we have 2 schools for the schools, the students, to provide shade for them. And some of them did not have enough facilities actually for sanitation. We built a new 6 toilet sanitation station to the boys. And in 2 schools also, we provided 2 solar systems in 2 schools as well. Now, education and schools. Again, as you see, actually, we emphasize so much on education. These 2 schools, actually, we run these 2 schools in the camp ourselves, Araha. Alhamdulillah, we run the schools. We provide for the teachers and for the administration of these 2 schools. And now we don't have enough time to show you, alhamdulillah, last year Brother Muhammad was there for the graduation of some of the schools. But to share with you some of those schools, as I said, we started those high schools back in 2011. Now some of those schools who started back in 2011, they graduated and they came back now as teachers on some of these schools, alhamdulillah. We provided 32 students from the refugee camp in Sudan with a scholarship to attend colleges and universities. And we furnished another 2 schools, alhamdulillah, this year with all its needs to make it operational school, with desk, chairs, and textbook, and what have you. Medical. And subhanAllah, last year, around in midsummer, there's an area in Sudan, it was hit by this virus, and subhanAllah, this has become a very dangerous virus. There were almost 100 people killed from that virus. And our team, actually, in our office in Sudan, reached out to us and he said, how can we do? So we, as Araha, alhamdulillah, with the supporters, we made a campaign on our website, reached out to the people to we helped over 4,000 people, alhamdulillah, from that region to overcome that virus, alhamdulillah. Another 2 projects, subhanAllah, we had 2 children. I was actually debating with brother Yura, if I put some pictures for some of the children we helped. He said probably to save their privacy, it's better not to, but we can talk about them. One young boy, subhanAllah, he was about 5-6 years old. He has a cancer in his face, and he lost one of his eyes. Alhamdulillah, at Araha, the family, that boy is from Djibouti. Locally, they could not find any medical facility to treat him. So the family actually, also it was very, very, very poor. And they approached our office, and alhamdulillah, we were able to help that family. That boy, we sent him to Egypt. And in Egypt, they were not able to help him. We sent him to Turkey. And for Araha, we facilitated all the cost for him and for his family to be with him. And alhamdulillah, that student, alhamdulillah, that boy, alhamdulillah, he was cured from the cancer. Also, he was affected part of his eye. But alhamdulillah, that's one thing. Another boy, actually, he has a problem. He had cancer in his bone in the leg. And also the same thing, we helped him and supported him. And this is all, for Araha, we cannot do it without your help and support. And that's actually, let Araha do it. Araha, we are the mediator. You are the one who did it, and your support, by your support. Now, self-reliance. Again, this is really important also as our approach as Araha, to help the people to come out of poverty, to provide them with economic opportunity. Even that sounds really so simple. The second idea is providing a dairy goats. This is a program Araha did so many times. Because when there is drought, actually people, especially, they lose their livestock. And we will help them, try to help them to kind of restart their livestock. Last year in 2018 alone, we provided 686 dairy goats to 350 families. So they can rebuild their livestock, alhamdulillah, with that. Also, this is another thing, actually, the concept of donkey carts. And again, for us, actually, in Minnesota, probably, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with so much water, we don't think about it. But there actually, for these towns and villages where there are no cars, there is no paved roads, the only probably means is to reach them, to provide them with water, with the clean water, with a donkey and carrying behind him a tank filled with the clean water. And those actually, people actually, I'm going to share with you one story. A couple of years ago, one man, we helped him about several years ago, came to our office, and he said, I want to say this to you. I want to thank you at Araha and those donors that you provided me with a donkey cart, and I was able to provide for all my family, and I had all my kids went to school and finished school with a large family, providing for my family since then. Now, this is where we want to come about our school lunch program. This lunch program, inshallah, will be focused on this tonight. But in 2018, this is a concept actually providing kids, as Brother Muhammad said, the kids in the Horn of Africa, they go to school from 8 to 3, they did not have any food. Even those who have some food, they barely had, as you know, we say it, maybe a cup of tea and a dry bread maybe to dip it in the tea. And can you imagine, especially in elementary school, kids for 7, 8 years, kids and in primary school cannot survive in that for about 5, 6 hours. So we started this pilot project 2 years ago in 2 schools, and then we expanded. When we found how important it is and how successful it is, we then expanded to seven schools. And so with that program, we provided provided lunches to over 2,000 students with a nutritional meal in Somalia, Sudan, and Ethiopia. If we do the math, actually, with 200,000 students, we provided an average 23 days every month for 10 months. That is about almost 500,000 meals in total. Now, this is again what we are, inshallah. Sheikh Yusuf will be helping us to talk a little bit more about that, but I just want to briefly to tell you more details about the project. The concept, as I said, and Brother Muhammad said, the students there, they go without food. We want to make sure to help them to have food when they go to school, so they become healthy, and they will become they are able to focus in the school, and we'll talk about the benefit in a minute. But this is actually where in what we talked about, that with the poverty, the students go without food. Go ahead. And I mentioned that we started with 2 and we have 7 schools. And tonight, inshallah, Brother Muhammad said actually we want to increase that to 1,500, but we are hoping really to double the number of schools to 7 schools. If we can do that, will be great, inshallah, by your help and the support. And this is the concept. For each student, it costs 50 cents a day. It's $10 a month, $100 a year. And inshallah, I'm not going to take anything away from Sheikh Yusuf with that. He will go over this more in details to see who can support 200 students or 100 students and so on and so forth. But that's the concept. If you think about it, it's really simple. But there are so many students in the Horn of Africa, as you know. Now, the impact of this, as I said, that's increased the enrollment in the students, reduced the dropout, enhanced the academic performance, and significant improvement in students' grades, made the teacher job relatively, I'm sorry I'm reading it, but this is really what is, each point is really important there, that it's students now, they come to the school, poor families make sure that they send their children to school, so at least they have a meal. And also with that, we hire the from the community, the cooks and the people who serve the food, those families who are poor, we reach out to them and they cook the food directly, and then they serve it and they clean after that. With that, we are able to create a more positive community and educated youth. And with that, inshallah, we will move a whole generation. Alhamdulillah, when this generation, inshallah, when they get into healthy and educated, in the future they instead become dependent on others, they become independent to provide to themselves, to provide for their family, and then they are able to go to seek more education, go to colleges and universities, and the whole generation, inshallah, move it from to the positive way, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, and thank you for being with us tonight. Barakallah feekum. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Brother Rafiq Fanoon. To continue on that note, before we move to our next speaker, to continue on that note of providing school meals to students. To continue on that note, we all know Imam Abu Hanifa, right? Imam Abu Hanifa, all of us know? Okay, so Imam Abu Hanifa had 2 main students that spread his knowledge, his fiqh. It was Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad al-Shaybani. So Imam Abu Yusuf, as a child, his father passed away. He was an orphan. And his mom used to do knitting, and she would send him to do laundry for people. He would wash people's clothes, and he would wash bleachers, like in places like this, auditoriums. So that's what he wanted to do. On the way to work, on the way to where he was washing clothes, there was a Imam Abu Hanifa's masjid and his majlis, where he used to spread knowledge. And this little kid was attracted to that. He would go there. And his mom found out that he was stopping, like, you know, the boy and the king, the boy and the king, right? That story. His mom found out that this guy was making this and he was taking too long in this majlis. So she told him time and again, don't do that. We need you to work for the family, go work for the family. And this kid wanted to get some knowledge despite his age. It's the opposite, right? It's usually the mom or the parent pushing the kid. Now it was the kid pushing the parent. The mom couldn't take it anymore. She came up to Abu Hanifa, given a halaqah in a circle with his students, and among the students was this little kid at the time. Yaqub was his name, not Abu Yusuf at the time. And she yelled at Abu Hanifa. She said, "You old man sitting here, keep my kid away from your halaqah. Don't tell my kid to, what do you do to him to force him to sit here? I keep telling him, don't go to that old man, and he keeps coming back to you. What is it that you do to this kid?" He asked Abu Hanifa in a calm voice, he said, "What do you want the kid to do?" She said, "This kid is an orphan, we want him to work for us. We want him to do work for us. I earn my livelihood by knitting. And I send this guy to wash people's clothes, and we live off of that." And Abu Hanifa was a very intelligent, very wise man with firasa. So he said, if that is what you need, food on the table, you will see this kid as a grown man in the courtyard of the Amir, the Khalifa. You see him in a courtyard eating pistachios, like roasted pistachios, and drinking the best of drinks that are served to royal kingdoms. And this old lady, couldn't believe that. She said, "You're a crazy old man. You've lost your mind. This kid, orphan, I'm telling him to do this. He's gonna be a scholar in a Khalifa's courtyard doing this." He said, "You're a crazy old man." Fast forward, years later, Harun al-Rashid, we all know Harun al-Rashid, right? So Abu Yusuf, Yaqub, the little kid, became Abu Yusuf, and he became the top jurist, top judge at the time, and probably the most knowledgeable person. And one day he was sitting at the courtyard of Khalifa Harun al-Rashid, and a servant brought pistachios and a smoothie, a drink, to him. And Harun al-Rashid told him, eat from this and drink this. And he started smiling, and he said, "What are you smiling about?" And he told the story. And you could see then how big of a difference this program makes, or a program like this, providing a kid to stay in school and making that intense incentive. And you can see these kids wanting to come back to school. Whereas if they don't have that meal, some of them, that's the only meal that they have throughout the whole day. Some of them, if the school is closed, they don't have a meal. So with that said, I would like to introduce our guest and keynote speaker. Without further ado, no need for introduction, Sheikh Yusuf Estes. Jazakallahu khair. Faddal.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله السلام عليكم ما شاء الله تعالى Ramadan Mubarak. Oh, okay. Thought maybe the microphone went off or something. I don't know. The introduction that we had to the program, to the subject that we're here for tonight, is one that if you are there, nobody has to give you an introduction. If you see it for yourself, if you feel it, nobody has to tell you anything. You're ready. In a way, it's nice that we can take the information to another place and share that information with you. But in another way, it's difficult because when you feel something real hard inside of you, you feel like we didn't really give you the big message. When you see these children excited to go to school. This is not like I was. When the school bus would come, I'd be like, you know what, I forgot a bunch of stuff. Let that go, I'll get the next bus. They said, there won't be one till tomorrow. I said, that's it. But these children are excited for two reasons. Obviously, they're happy to get a meal. But there's so much more than that. They're happy to have a chance to learn something. Now, amongst children, learning something, that's kind of like showing off. I know something you don't know. But also, there's another thing, that as they're learning, they realize the depth and the value of education. I was already in middle school, or what they call junior high school, before I realized any value. at all for school. All I could think about was that we were in a prison and the principal was the warden. Then one day, at the ripe old age of 11 years old, I decided I wanted to go out on my own. In the summertime, I'm going to make some money. Working in the hay fields, working with the animals, working with the tractors and stuff like that. I loved that because I felt like I'm doing something, accomplishing something. And I got $20 a week. Yeah. And I only had to work 6 days from the time the sun come up to the time it went down. I was so happy. Then it came time for the 4th of July. And I had a chance to open up a firecracker stand, sell fireworks. One of our elder friends was telling us about he used to do that when he was a kid. I said, I want to do that. And my parents were like, no, it's a kid. But our friend said, well, I think he could do it. I said, yep, let's go. Let's do it. He loaned us an old truck that he had. Didn't run. We had to tow it out there beside the road. I borrowed some money to buy the firecrackers, and we set them up. In 10 days, I made more money, profit, than my mother did with a master's degree in education, teaching every single day. Because when she wasn't teaching in the school, she was teaching on the side. She was also developing the first curriculum for what we used to call mentally retarded children. I was kind of proud of that look at this. At 11 years old, if I can make money like that, I don't even need to go back to school. I'm ready to quit. I don't need that. I didn't take into consideration, by the way, that those 10 days that I spent are not going to be available until next year. In other words, yeah, sometimes you can see a flash in the pan, but how long does it really last? Also, I had to keep up with how to make a profit. I would take all the papers home to my mother at night, all the money, and she'd count it and tell me how much I made. That was when my father told me that, if you pay attention in school, you can keep up with that yourself. I said, why? He said, because money is all a part of math. When you learn math, you understand how to use it. You'll know why you need multiplication, why you need to know percentages, why you have to. And I was thinking, wait a minute. I go to school. Why didn't I pay attention to that? From that minute forward, I was excited to go to school. Not for the football team, not for the basketball team, things that I used to care about, but now because I want the education. Along the way, some other things were added to the math, like being able to understand social studies. But more than that, just as a title, social studies, no, social and cultural interaction with other people. Then history. When I found out that history is a combination of two American words, English words, that fascinated me. The words, his story. So then got me interested in words. And I use those ideas even now when I present Islam. I go to the words. What does the word mean? Where did it come from? How can we understand it better? All of the things that school is about, these children that we're talking about now in the Horn of Africa, they're understanding that from the beginning. You've got a chance here tonight to help support the future scholars of Islam, scholars of education, scholars of all of the various and sundry areas of education, knowledge, technology. Who knows which of these children are going to invent the next computer, but for their time. I remember when the computers came out for our time, computers were huge, take up this whole room. And they had to be on a real super level floor and an exact environment. And by the way, you could see a picture of it, but you weren't allowed to go in and look at it. Today, I have in my pocket something that will outperform, in just one app, it'll outperform any of those computers of those days. Imagine that. Which of these children are going to make the next so-called iPhone? Huh? And you'll get the reward for it. So I'm hoping that your education is kicking in now and you're thinking, hey, that could add up. Yeah. It can add up in some very big ways with the law. There are a lot of reasons that people do what they do. Maybe you do something for money. Maybe you want to do something to show off. Maybe you want to do something to get people to notice you. But did you know that there is one common denominator behind all of those things that we all want? Psychiatrists tell us that. The people that work with the brain, they know that there is one key motivator that really gets people to do something. In the military, when they try to recruit people, they work off of that. And they divide this thing into two things. And they present a situation in front of people to get them to sign up to recruit. It's called the fear and the hope. Fear of a loss, hope of a reward. And basically that's what all of us are doing anyway, isn't it? But there's a common denominator between both of those, the hope and fear. What is it that all of us really desire deep down inside of us? I remember when the first time somebody asked me that question. We were playing a chess game. And I take a long time because I really am not good at it. But my friend sitting with me, he said, he used to ask me so many questions just to distract me. And he said, do you know what it is that every human being wants? I said, yeah, money. He said, no. Not all the human beings in the world, they're not after money. Little children aren't. Some old people don't care about it anymore. I said, health. He said, no, not everybody's after health. There's one common denominator, the same one that I'm about to share with you. And when he told me, I'd already run down the list, beautiful girls. He said, well, why would a girl want a beautiful girl? I said, well, attractive spouses. And again, it makes you think the limited amount that we really put into it. What is the one common denominator? And by the way, Islam has that. It's called, in Arabic, salama. We all want the safety and security and peace. This is what we're after. In Arabic, salama or aslama. And that's the root of the word Islam. Comes from the same root in Arabic, sin lam mim. Is that amazing? Now that you understand that, you can use that for everything that you do. Will this thing that I'm going to do really give me salama? Because if it won't, why should I do it? That peace of mind that we talk about, the peace in the heart that a lot of us want to feel, and also that peace on the day of judgment when you're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's another word, by the way, that we know from the Quran. A lot of Muslims misunderstand it. But when you're standing in front of Allah on that day, do you know what's going to happen? Have you ever thought about it? I'm serious now. I want you to think about it just for a second. Don't freak out. Because Allah, He's going to have ghadab on that day. You know what's ghadab? Everybody knows ghadab, right? Raise your hand if you're not sure what ghadab is. Go ahead, put it up there. If I see enough, I'll tell you what it is. Yeah, there you go. You use that word every day, many times every day, in Arabic. You didn't know that? Yeah. When you say, غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Maghdubi is a form of ghadab. What is ghadab? They translate it as anger. You know what's wrong with that? We all think about anger as in, well, I'm standing in the line waiting for maybe at the DMV. You ever been to the DMV? Standing in line, sitting in chairs. It makes even my speeches attractive, right? Alhamdulillah. But seriously, you're standing there and somebody cuts in front of the line. They got some paperwork and they just step in front of you and you're like, wow. Or you're standing at the traffic light or sitting at the traffic light and the light turns green and the car ahead of you doesn't go. You're like, beep. This is anger. Yeah. But ghadab is a higher degree. It's a guarantee that there's going to be physical action coming from the anger. We call it wrath. Wrath in English, ghadab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be doing something about the anger that He will have on that day. This is narrated to us by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, telling us in the Hadith Sahih, famous Hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, telling us about the heat that's coming from the sun. It's going to come down real close to us. And it's going to be so hot. And people are standing in their own sweat to their neck. And it's a long time. It just goes on and on and on. And finally they said, you know, let's go to Adam alayhi salam. And they go to Adam alayhi salam. And they say, hey, this all started with you. Go to your Lord. Tell Him to start this judgment. Let's get this over with. We can't take it anymore. Look at the answer coming from Adam alayhi salam. He says, your Lord is angry today as He's never been angry before, nor will be like this anger again. And then substitute the word that I said, anger, with ghadab. And He said, I have my own sins. Go to Ibrahim alayhi salam. They go to Ibrahim alayhi salam and they get a very similar response from him. Your Lord has ghadab today like He never had ghadab before and never have the ghadab like this again. I have my own sins. Go to Musa alayhi salam. They go to Musa and they hear this. They go to Isa, and the only difference is Jesus doesn't mention sins. He doesn't mention it. Some people commented about this because He will be back in the last days, and it's not fair for us to know about His sins when He gets back. All the same. When they get to Muhammad, because Isa tells me to go to Muhammad. When they come to our Prophet Muhammad, does he just go up in front of Allah and say, hey, these guys are my followers, you got to let them off the hook? It's not like that, is it? Is it? How many of you know the hadith? You know good and well that our Prophet ﷺ is going to be making sajda, prostration in front of Allah. And then Allah, He's going to influence him or inspire him that he's going to say things asking for Allah's maghfir from ghafr. Subhanallah. And then Prophet ﷺ is going to ask to release some of the people from the fire. And only those in the fire to their ankles going to get out. Then such comes again for our Prophet ﷺ. And in this condition, he's asking Allah again. And then this time Allah up to the leg. And then so on. And then up to the neck. And so until finally even somebody have Adam's weight of Iman will get out of that fire. SubhanAllah. The relevance of what I'm telling you right now is very simple. When you really think about this day of judgment, what do you want on your side? How are you going to have the thing that we're born with, the peace? How can you stand in front of Allah on Yawmul Qiyamah without that peace? The key comes in the very beginning of Surah Baqarah. Because you just said, غَيْرُ مَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَضَّالِّينَ, and the people that are lost. Then what does Allah begin with? Right away. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Stop right there. Stop right there. There's your answer. What is taqwa? Because muttaqeen is the people that have taqwa. What is taqwa? Who knows what's taqwa in Arabic? You know it? Yeah? Come up here. Hurry up. Yeah, you put your hand up. Get up here. Hurry up. Quick, quick, quick. What do you think? I got to do all the work? Hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Come on. Careful. Okay, come on. Come on right over here. Right in front of here. Right in front. In front. In front. In front. There you go. Tell everybody your name.
Safa.
Again?
Safa.
Safa. Do you have a sister named Marwa? Never mind. How old are you?
10.
You're 10 years old? Do you know what's taqwa?
To have the faith in Allah.
Faith in Allah, that's kind of explaining it. There's a noun that I'm looking for, an object, something you can touch. It's called taqwa. What is that?
To touch.
Would you like me to tell you? Yeah? All right. So, have you ever played a video game?
Yes.
You didn't want to admit that right here. Mom's sitting over there. It's okay. But you know in a video game, when you see those monsters coming at you, the bad guys are coming at you, and they're firing the fire and the guns and all this stuff, and you need to get behind something. What's that called? You need to use some of your points to buy a what?
Shield.
Shield. She knew. Look at that. From video games. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hu Allah Dijalna Muslimin. Safi, do you want to go sit back down now? Yeah. She's gone. How critical is it for us to know really what these words in the Quran mean? And this is not our subject tonight, but I would encourage all of us to spend more time to learn more about the Laghut Arabiya. Not just so I can say that bait means house, or samak means fish, but so that you can understand the relevance of what Allah is saying in the Quran. Because when He's saying that this is the taqwa, this is the shield, this is the thing you need to go any further in the Quran, because He didn't use any other word until He came to this word from the beginning. So when somebody is saying to you, ittaqallah, they usually translate it as fear Allah. But the fear of Allah is why you need a shield. Just being afraid won't help you, will it? There are going to be a lot of people afraid on the day of judgment. True or false? So you need a shield, but hey, hold on, it's not a physical shield. Because Allah could see you behind anything you'd put up. Is that true or false? So what does Allah mean when He's using the word taqwa? And He doesn't mean the shield that you're going to hold on to, like, He means a shield that's going to hold on to you on the day of judgment. Well, what is it? Well, that's pretty easy to figure out if you just read the rest of the ayah, because He's going to tell you what it means. You want to know? Or you want to guess? You want to know? All right. Come up here. Yeah, you. Well, if we have girls, we got to have boys, right? It makes sense to me. Come on up here. Come over here. There you go. Tell everybody your name.
Zubair.
Wait a minute. Stand right over here. You know what? I didn't know we were covering that up. Yeah, there you go. All right. Everybody, this is Zubair. Tell them again your name.
Zubair.
Yeah, I must have said it pretty close, right? All right. Zubair, how old are you?
I'm 8.
You're 8 years old? Yeah, you're kind of big for that. I was thinking maybe almost 9. Are you close to 9?
Yes.
Aha! See how smart I am? Alhamdulillah. So, you want to know what this taqwa is all about?
Yes.
You want to have a shield against Allah's punishment on the Day of Judgment?
Yes.
You know what He talked about in the Quran and told us what kind of shield He means? You want me to tell you?
Yes.
All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. There I just gave you the answer. The first part is you got to get a shield. The second part is these are only the people, the only ones that are going to get the shield, they believe in al-ghaib. What is al-ghaib? Do you know? Al-ghaib means you can't see it. Can you see molecules? Can you see atoms? No. But we believe they're there, don't we? Yeah. Can you see the Jannah?
No.
Nope, but we believe it's there.
Yes.
Okay, what about hellfire?
No.
You don't see it, but do you believe it?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
Of course. MashaAllah. We believe in something, we don't see it. We don't see malaika. Do we see angels?
No.
Sometimes we feel like we're in the presence of angels. It's true. But I want to be sure that we understand what al-ghaib is. Al-ghaib means if Allah says it, we believe in it. Right? Right. Zubair said, right. Okay. Now, the next part of it, he tells us to establish the salah. You know what that is?
No.
Good. Most people guess and they get it wrong. Salah is not prayers. Salah is... No more guessing, okay? Connection, yes. It is the connection with Allah. From sila, connect. So you make a connection with Allah when you do salah, and then you do your prayers, which is called dua. You get it?
Yes.
Are you ready to do that?
Yes.
Not right now. We're going to wait until the adhan, all right? But you got it now. But then the next thing Allah is telling us about is people that will spend from their rizq. You know what's rizq? Okay, whatever you have today, Allah gave it to you. Is that right? That's part of your rizq. And if you get to break your fast, that's from Allah's rizq. He gives you. He provides for us. And so that's what we're talking about today. We want people to know one of the things that will be good for us on the Day of Judgment, a shield. I want my shield. I want Zubair to have his shield. I want Safa to have her shield. And I want all of us to have our shield on the Day of Judgment. Qul Ameen. Ameen. We are needed. All right. And what is that shield? Today we're going to help from Allah's rizq. We're going to donate money so that these children can have a meal every single day of the year, the school year. They're going to get to eat a meal, a good, fresh meal, and inspire their intelligence, inspire their bodies, and help them to be better Muslims. Is this a good idea?
Yes.
What do you want to tell everybody about this idea? Should they do that?
Yes.
Tell them.
We should do it because
That's a good idea.
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Zubair. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't get the idea? because Zubair can come and tell you, all right? We have a purpose to be here tonight. Everybody came here with some reason. And now this is our reason for the program, to have you participate with us so we have our shield on the day of judgment. You're doing this for the children, yeah, but you're doing it for yourself. Keep that in mind. How much protection do you want on the Yawm al-Qiyamah? I'll leave that to our brothers to talk about it. Have fun.
MashaAllah, that was Sheikh Yusuf Estes. And like we said in the beginning, does not need an introduction. Earlier in the month of April, last month, we were lucky enough to have Sheikh Yusuf Estes at our masjid in Dar es Salaam, Burnsville. I was not there, I was out of state. But one of the things I heard, the takeaways from the Sheikh was one of the people that was there, that I think it was the next week, he said, the Sheikh Yusuf Estes said in his talk that he was 28 years old. He's still 28. So I'll leave you to figure that. And he's right in that sense. He's 28 years Muslim. So he's 28 years old. That is very deep. And one of the wiser parents took that away. He was older in age. He said, when he said that, I felt something different. Up next is our youngest speaker, or Munshid, Nasheed, is Amira Idris. I would like to welcome Amira Idris. Look at Zubair clapping for her first. Amira is going to do a nasheed for us. And when I was asking her name and earlier, she said to make sure that, to mention that she's 11 years old, turning 12. Right? Yes. And her dad emphasized on that. So, you want to stand? You're good to go.
There comes a time when we hear a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's to make a better day, just you and me. Send them your heart, so they know that someone cares. So they know that someone cares, and so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's to make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. Let us realize that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's to make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's to make a better day, just you and me. Yeah, yeah. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's to make a better day, just you and me. It's to make a better day, just you and me.
MashaAllah, very amazing. And you could see that she gets her courage and bravery from none other than her father, Brother Muhammad Idris. Up next, we have a video from the field, the project at work, what you're contributing to and what you're helping and what your contributions have made possible. So that video is going to be up next, and then we'll move to our program to do contributions for the coming year and to expand this program. After that, we will have iftar, inshallah, of course. And like we said, when we leave through the doors, to the right will be dates and water, and then the musalla, or where we're going to pray, will be on the right toward the end hallway over there. And this video is the program in action, the school meals in action. That's a big kid. That big kid at the end is in the back now. He'll be joining us on the stage soon. Brother Jelani, who's a member of the board. Now we'll move to our program, or the fundraiser part of the program.
Get connected with Guide Us TV. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/guideustv1. Join us on Google+, plus.google.com/plusguideustv. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guideustv1. Find us on Flickr,